You're most welcome, Usman Amalia. It's so good to have you. Good evening. Good evening, Usman. Thank you for joining us here. It's good to have you. And how is Yobe State this evening? Okay, we will start in a few moments. Let's just allow one or two people to join us. If you are here, you're welcome. It's good to have you. Thank you for joining us. We are starting immediately because we have a lot to cover. Okay, Blessing is here as well. Blessing, you are most welcome. It's good to have you with us. You're joining from Abeokuta, Ogun State. That's good. That's good. How is Abeokuta doing? How is everyone in Ogun State? Okay, if you are here on the call, please introduce yourself and tell us where you're joining us from. Let's meet you. Let's meet you quickly and then we'll start. I can tell you that tonight's session is going to be one of its kind, one that you have not even experienced before because of the things you will be learning tonight. I hope everyone can hear me clearly. I hope everyone can hear me. Please, if you can hear me, please put it in the chat box so that I know you can hear me and see me. If you can hear and see me, I would appreciate that you put it in the chat box so that I know. Thank you. Okay, this one says you can hear me. That's fine. Thank you very much. Okay, I can see some other people on the call, but they are not introducing themselves. Please introduce yourself so that we'll start. We would start in 2 minutes. That's by 6:20. We will set the ball rolling. So introduce yourself and let's welcome you as we begin. If you have your friends, your colleagues, and everyone that should be here, please share the link and let them know that they should be here. Invite all your people, your friends, your colleagues, your classmates, your church members, your Muslim friends, even your enemies. Invite everybody. We are ready to welcome everybody. Let me drop the link for us so that you can use it to invite people, as many as we can. I will start by sharing something about me and how. Okay, that's the link to this session in the chat box. So please go ahead and invite your friends. Let's have them join us so that everyone can benefit from this session. All right, it's 6:20 p.m. already. and we are starting now immediately. Good evening once again, everyone. It's good to have you here. If you are just joining us, you're most welcome. Please introduce yourself in the chat box. Tell us your name and where you are joining us from. Okay, my name is Deborah Oladele. I am a performance development consultant. I'm a corporate trainer, and I am the founder of Bridge the Bridge. That's the platform that is bringing this masterclass to you at this point in time. All right. Okay, Deborah, you're welcome. It's good to have you here from Brazil. Wow. 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 It's good to have you here, Deborah. You're most welcome to this session. Okay. So I'm a performance development consultant, I'm a corporate trainer, and I'm a founder of Bridge the Bridge. Tonight we are looking at workplace skills. And I know that that may sound very common or very usual. When you say skills, workplace skills, you're wondering, okay, don't I already know that? There's a way you hear some things you think you already know it because it's what you hear virtually every day. Okay, but it's important that we don't we are open to learn and learn again and again. Over time, we have organized these master classes, these webinars still on these skills. And what I have seen again and again is that a lot of young people don't know what they think they know. And that's not to how do I put it now? That's not to write anybody off or to downplay anybody, but it's to let you know that there is more to that which you know, and you should be open to learning. So, one of the questions that we do ask when we have webinars like this, one of the very important questions that we would always ask is, what soft skills are you looking to learn? Or what workplace skills are you looking to learn? Yes, we ask those questions. Now, for this particular masterclass, that question was not included. But in previous masterclasses, previous webinars that we've had, we always include that question. And one thing I've seen again and again is that you would see people feeling what they want to learn, and they are mentioning technical skills, they are mentioning hard skills. But the question says, what professional skills do you want to learn, or what soft skills do you want to learn? And these are graduates, these are core members, these are even those who have graduated for a long time, not just recent graduates. These are final year students. Now, these are people that are already in the context of the workplace. I mean, if you're a final year student, you're like 1 minute to the workplace. If you're a recent graduate, you're like 1 minute to the workplace. If you're a core member serving, you are just at the workplace. You are at the gate already. You know. Now these are people that are already what we call quarter to what I call quarter to the workplace. But yet some of these things they don't know. And the issue there is that you don't even know that you don't know it until you get into sessions like this and then your eyes open, you'll be like, oh, I never knew this, I didn't know this. If you follow through the landing page that you used to register for this masterclass, you would see testimonials, that we had there. And we have a lot of them. I just had about maybe 10 or so that we put up. We have way more than that. And one thing that you would see again and again is you would see people saying, oh, I never knew this. Oh, this is a class I would ever state at the very end. Oh, I didn't know critical thinking like this. Oh, thank you for this session. Oh, when is the next session? Things like that. So you would see that you want to know until you are in a session like this, then you'll be like, oh, I never knew this. So that's why sessions like this are very important. You would see that in registering for this masterclass, a very important question we ask is that, do you attend trainings like this? Do you attend sessions like this? And we had options like no. We had options like one or two times. We had option like yes, I often do attend because it's very, very important. The things you give yourself to matter a lot. And if you don't expose yourself to things like this, you cannot be sure that you know these things. Okay, so let's get into it quickly. If you are here, please tell us your name and where you are joining us from. We want to meet you. We really, really want to meet you. We have waited for you to join us and now you're here. Please introduce yourself in the chat box. Thank you. Okay, let me share a bit of my story because I know that a number of people do not know me, and it's very important that I do that. My name is Deborah Oladili, and I am a performance developer. I I am a performance development consultant, a corporate trainer, and before I got here, where I help organizations improve performance in the workplace. By the way, that's what it means. The work I do as a performance consultant is I help organizations, staff, and even individuals improve performance in the workplace. And I train organizations as well. I train staff of organizations on these skills to help them become better in the workplace. Before I got here, I have worked before. When I mean worked, I mean I used to be a marketing professional. Okay, I started my career in 2018, just immediately when I finished school. I finished school 2018 February, and by 2018 April, you know, I had started working. So I have worked across multiple industries. I've worked in fintech. I've worked in the tech, that's educational technology sector. I've worked in security and investigation. I've worked in health tech. I've worked across various industries. And I started my career as a content person, content creator, content writer, and I grew up to being a marketing professional where I started where I led different teams before I then uh, ventured into building this professionally. While I was working, you know, I had been doing a bit of this here and there, training the team that I work for and all of those things. Now, I have experience as an employee. I have at least 6+ experience working across multiple industries with different uh, leaders, I mean CEOs, founders. And I can tell you for free that one of the most challenging thing for founders, leaders, CEOs is people who lack skills, even though they seem to have it. Okay. While I was working and while I was leading a team, so I'm on number one and two now, you know, because when I grew in my marketing profession, I got to a point where I could lead teams. So I was made a growth lead, a marketing lead, and of course, that's a different experience. But here's what I found out. At that point, as the leader of the team, I could I could serve in the position of a hiring manager. A hiring manager is that if I'm in marketing team and I need somebody to come into my team, we need to hire into my team. In that position, in that regard, I am the hiring manager. Yes, we would have HR, human resource professionals that work in the organization that they also are engaged in hiring. But if the person is coming into my department, then you are I am your hiring manager at that point in time. So that's what it means. So I had the opportunity to sit as a hiring manager. And I remember that then my CEO would always say, when people submit their CVs, he would tell me to go through it. The HR the HR will go through it first, and then she would send to me the people that she believes are good for my department. All right, please, can you still hear me? If you can hear me clearly, please put it in the chat box so that I'm very sure. Or anytime you cannot hear me or you cannot see me, let me know. And if you're just joining us, you're most welcome. Tell us your name and where you're joining us from. Tell us in the chat box, okay? So the HR would check the CVs and then forward the ones that she believes are good for my department. All right. Now, when she forwards it, I will also now sit down and look at it and forward it to the CEO. Now, many times, my CEO gets complaining that, Deborah, can this, you will just be saying things like, can these people work and can they think? Maybe I understand the work part, but which one is can they think? I mean, as at then, I was also beginning to understand these things. And he would say, yes, I need people that can think. I need people that can think. I don't want to be the only one thinking. And I'm like, okay, I get it. And then we would hire people, they will come in. I mean, during the interviews, people always look their best. They are always great. They are outspoken. They seem to answer all questions. Even technical assessment that we give them, they ace it and all of those things. When they get into the workplace, most of those people are, I mean, it's like they come to the end of the road. Do you see? Why? Because when you were preparing to get a job, you were preparing your CV, you were learning how to ace interviews, you were polishing how to talk. When they say, tell us about yourself, you were already learning those things. Those were the things you focused on. So, in a way, you already polished yourself for that. But that's just preliminary. I mean, there are people just that when they get a job, after their probation, they are let go. They are let go. Like the company will say, no, we can't work with you again. Because you came in very, very promising, but at the end of the day, there's nothing to show for it. And why? Because what they need in the company is beyond whether you have a good CV, and it's very important. Having a great CV is important. It gets you that access that you need. But it's beyond that. Immediately you step into the workplace. So you see that getting your CV, interviews, and all of this, they are good for the time being. The moment you get a job, that's all. So you now face reality. And that's where the issue is, and that's why we're here tonight. And the thing is, even the reality that you face is now changing. I mean, I can tell you that as a last time, we had this session. This is the first one we're having this year. We had the last one we had last year was around August, September last year. And I can tell you that things have changed just between September last year and now. Just less than a year. And a lot of things have changed. You know, me attending the World Bank Youth Summit actually reinforced many of these things. And it was even why I decided that no, we would, have this session as soon as possible because it's very important. So when you get into the workplace, the game changes and you can now be let go, which is an experience I had. Please don't get me wrong. I mean, don't lose me here. Okay. So I had told you how I started, got into the workplace, started as a marketing professional, and then I started to team, I mean, I led multiple teams while I was working, you know, and that was my experience. My CEO kept looking for people that can think, and then he would say, I don't want to be the only one moving the company forward. You get something like that, that I need help on people that we can think together, solve problems together, think of how to move the needle forward. And remember, this I need people to think is not department based because many times everybody will be called into the boardroom and Messi will ask for what are you thinking about this particular issue. So you have to be able to talk. The moment you cannot talk, you're not likely to be invited to the next one and the next one and the next one. That's how you will know That's one of the ways you know whether you're a top performer at the workplace or not. And being a top performer does not have anything to do with your years of experience. I can tell you for free. It has absolutely nothing to do with your years of experience. Absolutely nothing. You know, you can get into the workplace today, and in 3 months you are called upon to lead a team. Very, very, very possible. Now, moving on, when I left that organization and I joined another organization, there was an issue. And what was the issue? The issue was I got the job. I started working, very promising, and it was even a remote job, fully remote, and it was an international company. I mean, we had team members from Lagos, Nigeria, from India, from the US, from Netherlands, everywhere. It's an like and it's an international company, not not a Nigerian based company. That was and it was very promising. I was there. And guess what happened? Should I allow us guess? Who was who wants to guess? Okay, Precious, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us from Port Harcourt. How is Port Harcourt this evening? If you can guess, please guess while I am welcoming our very beloved people on the call. Daniel Adebuyi, you're joining from Bagada, Lagos State. You're welcome. It's so good to have you on the call tonight. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so what happened was after 3 months, I was my CEO called me in that international company that I joined, and then he said, "Deborah, I have not so good news for you." And I was like, "Wow, I've not done anything wrong." And then he said, um, "They will be letting me go." That. And I said, "Why? What did I do wrong? Is there anything at all? What is it that I need to adjust?" And he said, "Oh, no, no, Deborah, you're okay, very good. You're not just you're not adapting to the culture. That's just it. It's I feel like what does that even mean? I'm not adapting to culture. Like you brought me in, and after my probation, the only thing you are sending me away, the only reason you want to let me go is because I'm not adapting to culture. Which culture? You know, I mean, I understand that the workplace have cultures. I know, but I'm just like, is it that serious? How come I didn't know all along that there was something I was not adapting to? So I met with the HR as well, and I was asking that, okay, can you? I mean, I had asked the CEO that it's not clear to me what you mean, but it was just like, okay, you hear from the HR. So when I met the HR, I was like, can you I mean, at least maybe the CEO may not tell me everything, but I mean, even for the next place I'm going, can you break this thing down for me? What exactly is the issue? What did I really, really, really do wrong? Or what is it? Why? And he said the same thing that I wasn't adapted to the culture. And I was like, culture? Which culture? Which? Now, when I got my letter, that was the only thing that was there. Every other thing was good. It was just that not adapted to culture. Now, when I sat down to reflect, it took a while before I could figure out, okay, number one, this was an international company. That was my first time working with an international company. Over time, I've been working with organizations in Nigeria. Do you get? So it says something about how I can be doing well in the Nigerian setting when I'm now in a global setting. It's like my 80%, 90%, 100% is like maybe 0% or 5%. You see, so when the context changed, it shows that there were lapses that I didn't know. And so I needed to be in an international environment for me to see that, oh, there is still so much to learn. Now, remember that this is even after I had led teams, please, in my previous organization. So, I had to just learn those things because I looked at it. When I was mapping my journey to see where did I miss it with this thing, one of the things I discovered again was that there were instances where I was asked in meetings that, okay, when they've said what they want to say, everybody, the meeting is rounding up, and they're like, okay, Deborah, do you have anything to say? Okay, this person, do you have anything to say? I discovered that many times I would say no. And then I didn't think it was an issue because I didn't have anything to say. I'm not one to not talk if I'm supposed to talk. I can be very outspoken. So it didn't look like, I didn't have anything to say. So I didn't have anything to say. Not that I was a coward or anything. I discovered later that as simple as no, you don't have anything to say is a problem. Now it looks very sincere, very. Do I always have to have something to say every time? But yeah, I discovered that eventually that you should not say you don't have anything to say in that in settings like that. And then I started to learn. Okay, so what should I have said? How do I say it? What do I say? And I had to go to learn, and build myself in that area as well. And after then, I got another offer to work in an international organization as well. And I moved on till I then focused on building this. And having worked in building, you know, this brand and in working with young people, I have seen many things. I have worked with CEOs, I've worked with founders, I have worked with organizations who wanted to hire, and I was, a consultant that was brought on the team to hire. I have worked with organizations to train their staff members. I have worked with organizations to on performance consulting, setting up structures and systems in workplace. Now, amidst all of this work that I am now doing, I have seen many things again and again. This kind of work that I have to work with CEOs and founders, and then that I have to train, it continue to make me see from the perspective of a founder, a CEO, and from the perspective of employees. I must tell you for free that we all have a long way to go. You And you, as a person, must take responsibility for yourself. Remember the last training we had? Somebody asked that, okay, why can't organizations train people when they employ them? Now, that's not a very good question to ask because it shows that you want to pass the responsibility to an organization. Yes, it is good that organizations are also responsible for training and development of their staff members, but you, as a person, should know what is very good, important, valuable for you, and you go for it. And that's what shows that you are committed to your own growth and you're not waiting for somebody to train you. Also, one of the reasons why most CEOs don't fund training and development for team members is that they believe that at the end of the day, this thing is what you own. And you can choose to learn, finish, and then disappear tomorrow. You can drop your letter anytime and say you're not working with it. There's nothing they will do about it. But they have added value to you and it's your own. So they expect that this thing, even if we give you, even if we invest in it, it is doing you more good than it is doing us. When you learn things, learning is very, very important. When you learn, it becomes your own, especially if you learn it well. Not that you're in a session like this and you're not concentrating. or if you learn and you learn well, it is yours forever. If you not learn and you take action, it's yours forever. Nobody can take it away from you. Okay, and I have continued to see it again and again, having gone through different trainings. I train students, I continue to train students, I continue to train graduates, I continue to train employees who are already in the workplace. And these things are the same. Okay, now let's look at what the data is saying for the time that we are here. For the time that we are here. We have a lot, and I will run through all of them. Please pay attention so that you can start to see the areas where you need to focus on, the areas where you need to develop. And if you have questions also, you can then start to ask your questions, okay? Before trends transforming the workplace. This is from LinkedIn, the data on my left, that's likely going to be your right or something. But for trends transforming your workplace, this is the data from LinkedIn, and you can see the first one is soft skills, 91%. This thing, it looks like it's not there, but it is there. At least that's why I took time to share my own story. Now, that particular company where I led teams that I kept saying, my CEO continued to say that um, I need people that can think, I need people that can think. I have gone there even after to train their staff members. I've been there, you know, more than once, and I have even been called upon again, to be consulted for. That's to tell you that these things matters. If you are currently working right now, you may not really see that this kind of skills matter because it looks like even founders, CEOs are already looking elsewhere in quotes. But these are skills transforming the workplace. At least if you don't believe me, you should believe LinkedIn. Okay? Look at the data on my right. Missing skills. HR professions. What are they saying? Can you see it? They report difficulty recruiting candidates who have the necessary soft skills for an automating world. An automating world. Because the world is changing very fast, that you cannot just depend on one tech skills or one coding skills that you already have. Some 2 years back, it was tech skills, tech bro, tech sis, if I'm correct. And that's a good skill to learn, don't get me wrong. But things are changing very fast that you cannot miss out on the skills necessary for a world that is now changing. Because things are changing very fast, is why you cannot put all your eggs in one basket now. You cannot just focus on one thing and not focus on the things that no matter what changes, they stand true. These skills that you see here, they stand true no matter the kind of technology that is called. And we'll still look at it. Okay? You can see problem solving, you can see critical thinking. These are the skills that employers, HR professionals continue to complain about. Communication. It is when you start to learn some things, you know that, oh, I never knew this about communication. Communication sounds like a skill that everybody will say they know. Because, what's there in communication? But you will not know until you start to learn, and then your eyes will open. That's why it is very important that you pay attention to these things and not assume that you are aware or that you know about it. Okay. Now let's move on. Again, this is World Bank 2022 report. 2022 report. Top 5 skills lacking in applicants. Problem solving is 60%. Communication 15%. Teamwork, critical thinking, work ethics. All this data can be found online. They are live and direct online. I did not fabricate any of them. Look at the one on my right. It says 89% of HR leaders believe that the lack of soft skills is one of the main reasons for poor team performance in the workplace. And it is very true. I'm a performance consultant, so I know what I'm saying. Very, very true that soft skills are the main reasons for lack of performance. Let me share this story with you. When I delivered the training at Lagos Food Bank, I remember that it was a employee training. So one of the staff members asked a question that, if what do I do when I am supposed to submit my work, but my work is completing my work is dependent on another person's completion, and this other person is not moving the needle. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. What do I do? Now, I'm not going to answer that question here because that's not where we are. But I'm trying to show you just one thing here, that okay, so people are working in a team. You know, there are times that your own work depends on another person's work. If this person does not, submit their work, you can't carry on. But if this person does not fulfill their part, you can't do your own. Things like that. So that was the question she was asking. Now, in one word, she's stuck on that. She's not able to move forward and deliver what she's supposed to deliver. And according to her, her work is dependent on somebody else who is not doing what they should do. Now, this thing now is not whether you know how to code or whether you know how to design, or whether what you can be queried for it and you can actually lose your job for it. Very, very possible. These are things that happen in the workplace that if you're not there, you may not even, and if you're there, you may still not be able to see it until there are lapses. Your CEO will say, why? You've not submitted what you should submit. And then you're like, oh, it's Mr. A that did not finish his work, so I could not submit. And then why is Mr. A not finishing it? These are issues that happen in the workplace that need attention. And the kind of things that are lacking, they're not technical skills, they're not hard skills. They're not, I know how to write, I don't know how to write. There are things like communication. There are things like work ethic. There are things like accountability. There are things like, you know, what is the who how is the reporting line set up, and many other things like that. I'm looking at the LinkedIn Learning Report 2022, that 89% of HR leaders believe that the lack of soft skills is one of the main reasons for poor team performance. And so you don't want to fall into that category of people who don't even have the skills. Okay, now this is another data. 37% of managers would rather hire AI than offer jobs to Gen Z. If you're a Gen Z here, say hi. Any Gen Z in the house? Nobody wants to talk again now. Nobody wants to identify with being a Gen Z. If you're a Gen Z in the house, say hi. Okay, let's welcome a number of people. Okay, Joe, Tanjo. Okay, Eniola from Lagos State. Wow. It's good to have you. Oh, you're a Gen Z. Amazing. It's good to have you here. That's a good one. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for joining us. Okay, Oluwatome from Lagos. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Oh, you're saying I too. That's good. Oh, we have a lot of Gen Zs here. Amazing. How does this data make you feel? For Gen Z, yeah, you're saying okay, so they will not hire us. They will hire AI. Imagine. How does this data make you feel really? Joining from Edo State, native facts. Yeah, most welcome. Thank you for joining us here. It's good to have you here. Okay, so for our Gen Z people, how does this data make you feel? According to an international business survey, 40%, now this data was last year, very recent. 40% of managers would rather hire artificial intelligence robots than agency graduates. 98% of HR leaders are struggling to find talent, but 89% of them are not hiring recent graduates. Why? I mean, You are complaining that you cannot find talent. Now, you are still not hiring recent graduates. What's the issue? That's to tell you that as we progress in the world, even these people, hiring managers, CEOs, and founders, they are not willing to just hire anybody again. Yes, we need people to hire. We need them. We need them. We need them. But we will not just hire anybody. So 98% are looking for people to hire, or 89% don't want to hire recent graduates. Who do you want to hire? Now look at the data on my right. Hiring managers say Gen Z workers lack work ethic. Can you see? Now ask yourself, do I lack work ethic? Do I lack work ethic? Look at the next one. Bosses are firing Gen Z graduates just months after hiring them. If you, at least you can see the name, you can go and research this data. Just read up on it and learn. You see. But it is real. The issue is real. And that's just what Usman is saying here. He says bad, and that shows work needs to be done. Yes, work needs to be done. And I will even now show you why work really needs to be done. Because it was when I attended the World Bank Summit just this last month that it was very clear that, I mean, as we move on, a lot of work needs to be done. Because the world, I mean, where we were last year in the world with an automating world, with all this AI and everything, it's not where we are today. Things have advanced in AI. That the things that AI cannot even do as a last year, it can do it now. And look at this data. 40% of managers say they would rather hire AI than Gen Z graduates. Let's move on. We're in a good place already. Now, these are reasons why college graduates are happen to be successful. College graduates means university graduates. Yes, that's what it means. Yes, Deborah says there's a lot of work that has to be done. Yes, yes, I agree. I agree. Reasons why college graduates haven't been successful. Now look at these reasons. Which one looks like they don't know how to code, they don't know how to design, they don't know how to create content? Which one looks like that in all of these reasons? Lack of motivation or initiative. That's the number one. Now you can sit and be like, how is that an issue? Which one is lack of motivation? How is lack of motivation a reason you will not hire somebody? But it is true, at least from my own experience. That's why I shared my own story. Imagine they telling me you're not adapting to the culture, which I'm like, what's the? I mean, I was careful to follow rules. And what's like the culture here? These things are real. Lack of motivation, lack of professionalism. Very important. Professionalism. You can't say, oh, the world is, we are now woke, everybody's woke. You will not dress properly. You will not speak properly. You will not address people properly. You can't do that, even if others are doing it. These are the issues. Poor organizational skills, poor communication skills, challenges with feedback. Oh, one of the courses in our program is feedback exchange. And I think that's the second highest that a lot of people have taken. The title of the course is feedback exchange. It teaches you how to give feedback to people and how to receive feedback from people in a professional setting. And the feedback we got from that course has been very, very encouraging, and it just inspires my heart every time I read it, because I'm like, wow, these are issues, and then people take the course and then they are learning what they should learn. And you can see the challenges with feedback. Challenges with feedback is basically saying some of them don't give feedback properly, some don't receive it how they want to receive it. And then look at where lack of work experience is really below, but it's still a very good percentage to focus on. Poor problem solving skills. Difficulty working in a team. Can you see? Everything here is above 25%. Now, I brought the explanation from it. That's what we have On the right, 47% consider educational qualifications important in 2024, but only 25% seeing them as essential. Do you know what that means? It is important. Like, go to school. By all means, go to school. But school is not a scam. Education is not a scam. So that's it. But the 25% seeing them as essential, you know, is something to pay attention to. Important and essential. If 25% are seeing it as essential that you ought to have it, 47% are saying it is important, like by all means you must have it. 43% don't require candidate to have a degree from a prestigious institution. Can you see? If you go to some worthy offices, worthy places, you will see people that they not necessarily finish from university. Some people finish from polytechnic and they're doing well if they have these skills we are talking about. So 54% believe soft skills are highly important. 48% have opted not to hire a candidate because they were lacking soft skills. Can you see that? So your lack of soft skills can actually hinder you from getting hired. 66 says soft skills can be taught, so just go and learn it. That's just their own mindset. That, I mean, this thing can be taught. Go and learn it. We don't have to hire you if you don't know it. We have so many data, and I'm just showing you all the data so that you, at least it will let you know that it's not just what I'm saying, it's clear everywhere. This is World Economic Forum. Every 2 years, World Economic Forum, they give us reports on the future of work, where the work is going every two years. This is a 2023 report from the Future of Jobs World Economic Forum. They always publish that report, Future of Jobs report. Now look at it. Businesses top skill priorities for 2027. If you look at it well, 7 out of these 10 skills are in the soft skills category. Then the workplace skills category, they are the cognitive category. The only skills here that are technical skills are AI and big data, technological literacy, and design and user experience. Every other thing are skills that we are discussing here in today's session. Now, this is a 2023 report. I will show you 2025 reports, the report that came in last year. They publish every 2 years. And that one, it will blow your mind. But you can see that these are the top 10 skills that businesses are prioritizing. So if you want to get into the workplace, I mean, if businesses are prioritizing these skills, you should pay attention to these skills as well. You should. And this technological literacy speaks to things like not knowing how to use Word, not knowing how to use Excel, not knowing how to use PowerPoint, not knowing how to use Google Sheets. These are skills. I mean, I work with graduates, NYC members, so I know what I'm saying. Many people don't know this thing, and if you are here and you don't know it, so it's not to talk you down. It's to let you know that there is a lot of work to be done, and you should commit to doing the work. Now, top 10 skills on the list. This was last year as well. Okay. Now this is 2025, the one that the report that was released last year. Now we have moved to 9 out of 10 skills are in the soft skills category. As at 2023, 7 were in the soft skills category. Now in 2025, 9 out of 10 are in the soft skills category. The only, can you see? Analytical thinking, leadership, creative thinking, motivation again here. You would almost be wondering that who is learning motivation? Like, but these are skills that matter to those who want to hire you. So you just have to pay attention to them by all means. Let's move on because of time. Spent over an hour here. Okay, so this is where I need to show you Something very, very important that even made me to say we would have this session, you know, this very month. So last month I attended as a virtual delegate. I attended World Bank Group Youth Summit. And this summit, first of all, is not a summit that anybody just get to attend. A summit where you have to apply for it. They review your application, then you are invited to be a part of this session. All right. Now let me show you the insights quickly. Can we see it? 1.2 billion people entering the global labor force in the next decade. The next decade, that's in how many years' time? About 10 years' time. If you just do a rough, like an average and divide it by 10, you know, how many is that? That's like about 120 million, if I'm correct. 800 million people with jobs today that barely lifts them out of poverty. 70% of 10-year-olds in low and middle income countries cannot read the basic text. This is like, preamble. This is where we are going. 7 in 10 workers say they never have clear picture of what next generation job looks like. And this is true. This is true because in that meeting, we were told that because of technology advancements, the skills that you learned like last year may not be relevant again this year. Please, are you still with me? Can anyone hear me? Can anyone see me? Because of technological advancements, the skills you learned last year may not be relevant again this year. So it brings about a lot of uncertainty where you are not just clear on what exactly it is, where exactly are we going. And I remember that man saying something. He said, because of the uncertainty, go for skills that stand the test of time. If that's the man here, Iris Paul, he was giving us the progress report of what the research says. And he said, go for skills that stand the test of time because they will not change. You learned something last year, you are likely to not need it this year again. And then there's something new again you have to learn this year. And the next year there's something. It is the reality where we have found ourselves. There's really nothing anybody can do about it. As technology advances, you don't want to be left behind. So you have to learn again and again. But he said, go first, not to neglect learning about technology as it advances. No, you have to learn about it. But he said, go for skills that are timeless and universal. Skills that will continue to be relevant. And we mentioned those skills, which we are going to see in the next slide. 70% believe AI will create opportunities for people like them. Yes, by all means. 60% also believe AI will take away opportunities from people like them. Yes. AI continues to take away some opportunities as well as brings in more opportunities. You need to just be able to be in that position where you can latch onto opportunities that AI is creating. Do you get it? AI is not replacing people, it is replacing skills that don't adapt. Do you see? So if you can adapt, if you can make proper use of AI, you would move on. Let me move on because of our time. Now, these are the skills that were mentioned. More than this, but I just needed to bring a few up for you. In that session, these were the skills that were listed, according to Iris Poe. He said that go for skills like this. And he listed a number of them, which are the ones I've brought for you. Communication, critical thinking, self-leadership, adaptability, collaboration, Emotional intelligence. These are skills that stand the test of time. You will always need these skills. You know the beautiful thing about these skills is that even if you are a business owner, you're running your own business, you need these skills. If you are just a pastor, maybe you're a full-time pastor or a full-time imam, these skills are important. So they even transcend the workplace. They are universal skills. They are timeless. Timeless is anything come, anything goes. You will always need these skills. That's why they are very important. And there are more. These are just the ones that we are able to highlight. These are more of what was mentioned in adaptive resilience. This is me even breaking it down now. Be able to absorb change, be able to keep moving, critical thinking, structured judgment, communication, relational intelligence, AI literacy, self leadership and accountability, emotional regulation, relational intelligence again, adaptive resilience. The reason they are in two segments is that in two different sessions, we're speaking to it at the same time. We had the I response session first, and then the session on CIA. This the speaker mentioned it again and again that this is where the world is going, and this is even what World Bank as a whole is focusing their attention on. If we just stop to it here, we are good. Please tell me in the chat box, what are you looking at? What have you learned? How are you finding this? We are moving on to the phase where I will now teach you at least two skills tonight. That's the promise that I'm giving you, that in this session you will learn critical thinking, you will learn problem solving. Not in the in You will learn it at the basic level, what we can cover in a quick session like this. That's what we will learn, and that's where we are going. But I need you to tell me what you have learned so far. If you're still here, tell us what we have learned so far. What are the things that have stood out for you already? And if you have your friends, your colleagues, we have a whole number of people who registered. We are very few on this call. Don't know if you know one or two persons. Just reach out to them to join us. And then tell me what you have learned so far. Before we move to now learn those skills. You know, at least if you learn one thing on critical thinking tonight, you can take it forward, and you can build on it as you progress. Please tell me what you have learned so far. Um, let me. Okay. And Joe says learning the importance of communication and self leadership, critical thinking. That's good. Okay, that's good. Who else is giving us what they have learned? Let's have two more people, and then we'll move on to then look at critical thinking in details and um, problem solving, and then we'll close out after that. Okay, I would show you critical thinking, show you problem solving. We would use it to prepare a job application, and then we close out from there. Are we still together? Let me hear what you are learning. Just put it in the chat box while I take some water. for a skill that stands the test of time. Yes, go for a skill that stands the test of time. Go for a skill that stands, some 2, 3 years back, there was so many limitation with. I mean, you will need a person to be able to code, for instance. But I can tell you that right now there are many tools out there that can help you set up a website in 5, 10, 20 minutes, and you don't need to know how to code. You just need to know how to use certain tools very well. So you can't go about bragging and say I'm a web developer again now. Some 3, 5 years ago, that was huge. But not now again. Apologies to those who have that skill. It's good to know it. We are saying that you need to also focus on skills that stand the test of time. Very, very important. Thank you, Blessing, for that insight. And then we have Usman says, as a Gen Z graduate, I understand that my certificates are not enough. Yes, by all means, they are not enough. They are not enough. You have to go beyond that. And you don't need to wait, until everything is staring you in the face. As you learn, start to take action. As you see the things that you need to learn, then start to pay attention. Okay, let's move on. Let's look at what the skills are, because I remember, like I said, the last session we had, a question we asked was that what soft skills would you like to learn? And people were mentioning many things. We'd see even graduates saying fashion design. Now, fashion design is not a soft skill, but somebody that has gone to the university does not even know that. You know, I don't know what to say. We can all, complain and say, "Oh, Nigeria, shame on you, shame on the educational system." But really, you are the one that your name is. I can see your name that you are the one that is speaking fashion designer as a soft skill. It's not the Nigerian government. So at the end of the day, whatever system you think has failed you or is not doing enough, all you can do is to just complain and complain. But you cannot sit with complaining. You have to move on. Move on to say, take responsibility for yourself and develop the things that you need to develop. That's just what you will have to do. Now, what are these skills? Sometimes they are called soft skills, sometimes professional skills, cognitive skills, human skills, interpersonal skills. They have many names. I just told you 5. But at least these are many examples that I brought up for you. So you can see what they are. So if you see conflict resolution anywhere, you will know that, oh, this is in the category of soft skills. If you see analytical thinking somewhere, you'll know where it belongs. And these are a good number of them that you need for the workplace. You need communication, active listening, presentation skills, business writing, stakeholder engagement, accountability, teamwork, emotional intelligence. You actually need them by all means. And these skills can be taught. At least I showed you even that data saying that 66% of hiring managers believe that you can learn this skill. So just go learn it and develop yourself. Cross-cultural intelligence. I would say that maybe this is what was lacking in me at that time. I shared my story with you. Yes, because it was now a global environment, an international environment. I was working with people from different countries. So the kind of cultural intelligence I needed is not just within Nigeria context alone. I needed to expand on my cross-cultural intelligence, which I didn't even know I didn't take serious at that time until I was given that letter and I got to know that, wow, this is something. So these skills matters. Please don't take them for granted. The things you are learning tonight, don't take them for granted. Please. That's why you are here. So make it count. Okay. I already, divided them. Now, cognitive skills are things that has to do with your reasoning, your thinking, your processing information. Soft skills are skills that have to do with the way you relate to people and your emotions. You know, how you interact with people. So you can shift them, but they're still in that category of soft skills, cognitive skills, and the likes. Workplace skills, professional skills. Yes. Let's move on quickly. Now, let's look at critical thinking. This is where you need your pen and paper. If you have not been writing before, you should get your pen and paper here. Critical thinking is a skill that every single person needs, whether you are in the workplace, outside the workplace. Even if you tell yourself that, no, me, oh, I don't need a job, I just need to start my business, you need it. Let's now look at the framework to apply critical thinking because it's broad, but we can use certain framework to at least make you understand the concept and you can build on it from there. So that's why we're using the PMI framework. Tonight, that's what I'll be teaching you. So you can take this one, apply it, and then you build on it from there because it's still limited, but it's a good starting point for you as you learn. So let's look at it. Critical thinking involves you analyzing information, evaluating evidence, and considering alternative perspectives to make reasoned decisions. It is you being able to make sound quality decisions that achieve your goals. Okay, now imagine you are choosing a new phone rather than just picking the latest model because it's popular. You evaluate your needs. What do you need? Do you really need anything about camera? It's not everybody that really needs, that. What's the battery life? What people that have gotten this product? What are they saying? Can I compare features? What are the alternatives? If I don't buy this and I buy that, what am I losing? What am I gaining? That is huge. Engaging critical thinking before you make decision. People who don't think critically don't make quality decisions, even in their personal decision making. This is not just about the workplace. That's why I said these skills are needed everywhere. But again, I can tell you for free if I see that you made a decision and you tell me your process, I can know whether you applied critical thinking or not. Now, what are what is the PMI tool that we are using? Letter P stands for plus. Plus, like. Letter M stands for minus. Letter I stands for interesting points. So we have P, that's pluses, like what are the gains? That's what it means. Letter M stands for minuses. What are the losses here? Letter I stands for interesting points. What are the in-betweens? What are things that are just neutral? It's not necessarily a plus, it's not necessarily a minus, it's just sitting in between. Now, this framework helps individuals and groups evaluate decisions, options, and ideas systematically, and it will help you ensure a balanced thinking because you're looking at the positive side, you're looking at the negative side, you're also looking at the middle point of that particular situation. Okay, this is it. I think we need there's there should be an updated slide to this. I'm coming, but what we have on the screen right now is correct. But okay, let's move on. Yes, so we have pluses. What are the benefits of this situation? If I pick a Samsung over an iPhone, what are the benefits? Do you see? If I school in a private university as against a public university, what are the benefits? What are the results? Now, minus are the negative things. If I go to a private university and not go to a public university, what am I losing? What are the bad effects of this decision for me? What are the risks here? That's the question you're asking. Interesting points are things that just they don't necessarily they are not necessarily what you need, but they are just there. Do you get they are just they are not minuses, they are not pluses, they are just in between. Do you see? And they may not even fit what you need exactly, but they are there. And you need to note them too. And let's get practical. This is scenario now. If somebody wants to make a decision to say, as a student, should I dedicate my weekends to skills training or I should attend social events? Now, if you are thinking critically, you can't just say, students, why will you be going to events? Read your book, go and do training. No, you cannot be a one-sided person that way. You see, and yes, it is good as a student that you take academics serious, but it doesn't automatically mean don't attend social events. You have to sit down and analyze it. What does it mean for you? Now, what are the pluses here? If you go for skills training and you neglect social events, what are the pluses? It improves your career readiness. It helps you stand out in the job market. It builds lifelong skills like communication, teamwork, and everything we're talking about. Now, what are the minuses? It takes time away from leisure and relaxation because Monday to Friday you're already in school learning. On weekends again, you are committing it to skills training. That means you have less time to play, less time to relax, less time to watch TikTok videos, less time to watch K drama. It might feel intense if academic workload is heavy. Yes, very possible. Another thing here is that you may miss out on the people you could have connected with because it means that when people are gathering social events anywhere, you are not able, you are not there. They don't see you, they don't know you, you can't connect with them. Now, what are the interesting points? You can network with like-minded peers in both areas. If you attend skills training, you can network with like-minded peers. For instance, as we are here in this call, everybody here already is showing that we are here because there's something we want to learn. So these are people committed to learning and committed to their growth. You can connect with one another here and make friends here. You already know that for people to show up here and they see here after about 1 hour 30 minutes, these are like-minded people I can connect with. Now, if you attend social event too, let's say right now there's a party in your corner, in your area, and you are not here, you feel like, no, I'm not attending that workplace this masterclass. I'm going for the party. You will also see people of like-minded, people who prioritize parties. You will also be able to network with them. Do you understand? So that's an interesting point. It could become a habit for personal development. Now that's if you go for skills training. The more you give yourself to learning skills, the more you are, maintaining an attitude of personal growth and development, which is a very good thing. Employers value this skills more than hard skills. Very good. Now, when you now analyze it like this, you now ask yourself, do the pluses outweigh the minuses? And why? Now, the pluses, I mean, all these benefits, are they more than what I will lose? That's what we are saying. So you first analyze it, benefits, losses, interest inputs. Then you will not say, do these pluses outweigh the minuses? Now, I'm using a relatable example here so that you understand it. When you and it also tells you that even critical thinking can be applied to your personal decision making, and you should apply critical thinking. Okay, but again, I'm using this simple scenario because we are here. You know, when if you have a workplace issue problem, you can apply this to it to help you make decision, and it is a good one. Scenario two: should you start a regular exercise routine? You do the same thing. What are the pluses? What are the minuses? What are the interesting points? Then you now sit down and say, do the plus actually outweigh the minuses? That's how to go about it. Now, okay, this is a class exercise. I would have even loved an exercise that is workplace related, but I understand that it may be too technical for us. Okay, so but this is a simple one to attend. Let's do that in the chat. What's the plus on this? It's saying how how could you apply the PMI method to a personal decision like joining the competency development program? For context, competency development program is our program for those who want to learn the skills that we're talking about. We'll still talk more about the competency development program towards the end of the lesson, but just to give you context for this, should you invest in building skills that are evergreen, required in all jobs, required across all industries, and that AI can replace? Now, do the PMI for us. Start with pluses. Let's see one or two pluses that you can find. Let's see one or two minuses you can find. Let's see one or two interesting points that you can find. Let's take 1 minute to do that, please. 1 minute so that we can move. 1 minute. 1 minute. Still have a lot to cover. We need to cover problem solving and we need to cover preparing your job application. Yes. So let's have your pluses, your minuses, and your interesting points in the charts. One minute is going. Going. I hope we have people attempting it anyways, so that I'm not waiting in vain. Who is done? Can we have your response in the chat quickly so that we can move? Please attempting it for us. Okay. Plus it helps with flexibility, it increases your competence. That's true. Very good. Okay. We have from Usman, it says it keeps me relevant, improves my skills. Very correct. Yes. Minus it can be exhausting at times. Yes, it can be exhausting. What you then need to do is to be able to prioritize what are the skills I need to focus on at this point in time, and where am I going to acquire those skills. So it's not like you're learning, you're in this program, you're in another program, you are doing this all together. No, you then have to prioritize and focus on a program at a time so that it doesn't overwhelm you. The skill will enable me not to be limited. Yes, you can apply it to different roles. Very correct. Okay, that's good. Thank you, everyone. Usman, Jordan. Let me see the name here. So that okay, Eniola. Oh, okay. That's noted. Thank you, Eniola. Thank you, Watuminsin. Thank you, everyone that has said, that has answered. Okay, now let's move on quickly. It shows that we're getting it. Remember that this, anyway, we'll still apply this PMI to a proper way you see it well. Now, problem solving. So you have learned one framework you can use for critical thinking. If anybody asks you that, do you know anything about critical thinking? Yes, you know something about critical thinking. And that's the framework we just saw now. There is more to it, and that framework is like the basic that we can teach in this kind of a session. Okay. Lesson says it will make me relevant and stand. Yes, very correct. Thank you, Blessing, for that. Now let's move to problem solving. We will also use a framework here to look at problem solving. And the framework we are using here is a 5 whys framework. A 5 whys framework. Now, the 5 whys framework can only help us to get to the root cause of a problem. It does not help us solve the problem. We can work till the point of solving the problem, but we are limited by time in this session. Okay, so what we will just see is how you can at least get to the root cause of the problem. So you see that the problem you thought was the problem was not the problem. You then are able to get what the exact problem is. And of course, if you find the exact problem, then the solution is easier to come about. Okay, so let's look at that, and let's get to the root cause of the problem. Problem solving is a skill, and you must have seen it since we started showing you the data and everything around what we're discussing. It allows individuals to identify the source of an issue, find effective solutions, help you determine the why of an issue and the how to resolve the issue. It helps you to brainstorm, you know, identify problems, gather answers, analyze answers, and then be able to implement the right one, the best solutions. Because when you're working with problem solving, when you get to discover the root cause, then you pick that root cause and then you start to solve for that root cause. In solving for that root cause, you get many solutions. Now, when you find many solutions, you then need to be able to pick the best solution to be implemented at that point in time. That's like the process that it takes for problem solving. Do you get? Now, problem solving involves critical thinking, decision making, creativity, and information processing. Right? The 5 whys. What does the 5 whys mean? It's a method to get to the roots of a problem by asking why 5 times. If you have heard of the 5 whys before, please put it in the chat box for me. Just say yes or no. If you have heard about the framework before, it's a simple framework that helps you uncover the root cause of an issue. You will continue to ask why 5 times till you get to the root cause. By the time you are on the fifth leg, you would have already gotten the root cause. Okay, how to use it? Start with the problem and repeatedly ask why, why, and why. Okay, do not skip tests or jump to conclusions. Use the insights you gain to then get solutions. Okay, and ensure that the problem is well defined. Look at an example below. Let's say you're in the tech space. If a server crashes, asking why repeatedly might reveal it is due to poor maintenance schedules or outdated hardware. If you're always late to work, asking why might reveal it is because of poor morning routine. Okay, let's look at an example. A missed deadline. That's a scenario here. The problem is that the team is always missing the team missed the project deadline. So there was a project at hand, and this team missed that project. They could not submit and deliver on time. Now we are applying the five whys to find out what, what is the issue here? What's the real problem? Why couldn't they submit and meet the deadline? That's it. Now, the first question to ask is why did the team miss the deadline? The question to ask is always reviewed from what you have. What do we have on ground now? What we have on ground is that the team missed a project deadline. That's it. So the first question to ask is why? Why did the team miss the project deadline? Because the final report was not completed on time. So since they didn't have the final reports, they could not submit anything at the point of the deadline. Okay. So you now ask why on that one. You say why? Why couldn't they submit the final report on time? What delayed the final report? That's the second why. Because the person responsible did not have all the necessary data. So the person could not finalize the report to meet the deadline. Then you now ask again why? Why is it that the person responsible did not have all the necessary data? Is it because the person did not ask for it? Was it shared and the person could not find it? These are the questions to ask. So that's the third why. Why? How come this person did not have the necessary data that is required? Now, what is the answer here? Because the data was not shared by another department as suspected. Now, this wise, as you're asking them, you'll be finding answers. It's like I say, Eniola, why did you miss the project deadline yesterday? And Eniola answer me, oh, because the final report was not completed on time. Why did the final report, why was the final report not completed on time? Because Usman that is responsible for it did not have all the necessary data. Okay, so why did Usman not have all the necessary data? Can you see? That's the way it flows with five whys. And then you find out if you need to ask Lusimar, then how come you don't have the necessary data? You ask Usman. Do you get? And then Usman says something like, it was not shared, it was Blessings department that was supposed to share it, but they didn't share it. Why was it not shared? Blessing. Maybe that's the question for Blessing now. Or if Usman can answer that question, Usman can answer it for us. Blessing, what happened? Why was the data not shared on time? So sorry, I didn't know that the deadline was Tuesday. I was hoping to send it on Wednesday. You see, that's the answer we have because the other department was not aware of the deadline. So they did not do what they ought to do in good time. How come Blessing is not aware? What happened? Because when we met at the start of the project, nobody communicated this deadline to us. So we were not aware that there's a deadline. Now, what's the root cause of the problem now? So the root cause is not we didn't complete the report on time. No, that's if you are solving for next time just complete the report on time. You are not solving any problem. You think you are solving a problem, but you are not solving any problem. And the root cause here is that there was no clear communication during the project planning phase. That's why the team that was supposed to share the data did not share it because they didn't know there was a deadline to work with. Now, to solve this problem, now let's say I see you and your squad level, you will now start to say, okay, when we have project planning meetings going forward, this is like a checklist that you must follow, and then you ensure that clear communication is referenced in the checklist. That you must communicate deadline. You must complete what lessons department need to send to a small department, needs to what Eniola's department will need at this point in time. That's how we solve problems in the workplace. That's how you become a high performer in the workplace. Because when you get to the root cause of the problem, you must solve the problem. You have to solve the problem. That this uncovering the root cause is just the number one. You must solve the problem. Okay. Now let's see another example. I think I have one more example here. Okay. Okay, this example is even simple. It's going to be simple for everybody. Why don't I have the relevant skills for the 21st century workplace? That's the problem, students. So the first why is what? Why don't I have the confidence required to step into the workplace? Now, for many people that feel, that's one of the questions we had for this when we were filling the registration form to join this masterclass. We asked that, okay, how confident are you in stepping into the workplace? And yes, some people said they were confident, some people said not so confident, some people said they were not even confident at all. So this question is for us. Why? Why don't you have the confidence required steps in the workplace? Because you have not intentionally developed them. And there are things that if you have certain skills, your confidence automatically just come because you have built what is required for the confidence. Now, why haven't you developed them? Because you relied on your degree and you didn't know that you needed it for work. Another person can say, because I really have not just seen I didn't know where to go and learn it. That may be the why, the answer to that why for another person. Remember that this five whys is particular to what you are trying to solve for. So it's not a generic thing. For somebody, it is that they just relied on their degree and they feel like, my certificate will give me the job. For another person, it could mean that I've not even found where to learn these skills. Nobody is really talking about it. I've not seen where they are teaching people with this skills. That's another person. And then you go deeper and deeper, deeper than that. Let's move on because of time. Okay, we have a class exercise for you to practice these five whys. Let me see what's next. Okay, that means we're moving to the final part already. Preparing your job application. So let's do this exercise, then we'll move to the final part where we prepare job application and then we close out. Um, I believe it's been a very valuable session for us. Class exercise. How would you apply the five whys to dig deeper into the root cause of this scenario? What's the scenario? You know you need to grow and position yourself for better career opportunities. Okay, this is even for you. You already know, but you have not taken serious intentional steps to invest in the right skills. You keep telling yourself you'll do it later, yet time keeps passing. What exactly is the root cause? Can you apply the five whys? Let's see. Why? So where are you starting from now? What's the first why? Let me ask us. What's it from this scenario? What's the number one why? Let's do it together quickly so that we can move. What's the first why to ask? I'm waiting so that we can move quickly. What's the first why you see? Who is answering for us? What's the first why that you see? Let's bring it on quickly so that we can round up. Who is answering for us? Who is answering for us? Okay. Why are you not able to learn the skills? Okay. So let's have the second why. Okay. Oral automation says, why haven't you invested in the right skills in it? That's good. Why am I not relevant? Lesson says, why have you not taken serious to invest? Good. Good. We are getting it. I mean, this is a very good try, especially for a framework where we're just learning right now. So yes. Questions the first why borders around why haven't you invested in the right skills? Because we've painted the scenario now that you already understand you need to grow, you need to position yourself, but you have not in, been investing in the right skills. So why? Why have you not taken serious steps to invest in your skills? So let's do the second why. We can stop after the second why because of time, so that would that's preparing application is a very important session of this class. So that you can go on with that. So let's see this your second why. So from this first why, move to the second one. You would answer, and the other answer gives us a clue to the second why. We'll stop at the second why. Because of time, we'll stop at the second why. But you already understand this framework, so you can apply it, as you move on with other things. We would encourage you to practice the framework. Let's have the response, and then the the second why, and then we would stop. We won't proceed to the third why because of time. Are we moving? Let's be fast because of time. Okay, we have an answer here. This is because I don't know exactly what the right skills needed are. That's number one. Mm. Okay, you've answered the second one. Thank you very much. And this is a good answer. In this is because I don't know what the right skills needed. So the second why would then be why? Why don't you know the exact skills to invest in? Is it that you have not been attending webinars and masterclasses like this? Is it that you have not been reading on what the global trends are on the workplace, on the future of work? You have not been asking the right people the right questions. Those are reasons, that fit into the answer to the second why. Okay, that's a good attempt to know automation. But I mean, right now you know the right skills, right? You cannot say you don't know the skills again. That's a good one. Okay, is there any other person typing? Maybe if we have one more answer, we would move. We can then move. Let's see if we have one more answer so that we can move. I hope would. How do we know who is typing now? Anybody? Okay. Lesson says because I didn't know the exact way to go about it well. Okay. That sounds like Oluwatomi since answers well. You don't know the exact way to go about it. So the why to that answer would be why. Is it that you have not been finding out, you have not been asking questions, you have not been reading up on it. But I mean, thank God you are in this session tonight. You now know the exact way to go about it. Okay, let's move on because of time. Thank you, everyone, to those who have attempted it. Now, let's get practical. We're going to use the PMI framework and the 5 whys to prepare this job application. I sent you a mail today that this thing is not, you can't find it anywhere because it's original to me. Okay. Now, what have we learned so far? We have seen the data, what is going on, what everybody is saying. Not just everybody now, what global industries are saying, what world leaders are saying, what HR professionals, hiring managers, those looking to employ you, what yes, we've seen all those things. We have also seen the skills that we are talking about. At least nobody here should say they don't know what soft skills are again, or they don't know what professional skills are. We've shown you everything. You have an understanding. We have also now covered framework for critical thinking and framework for problem solving. So that if you get anywhere, at least you can say something about critical thinking and you can say something about problem solving. Even if it's not one, and even if it is not detailed, at least you have a working knowledge, a preliminary understanding of critical thinking and problem solving. And that's a good place to start. Okay. Now we would see how we can work with those frameworks to prepare our job application. Ready? Is ready, 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 ready. Okay. Now, when you want to apply for jobs, ideally what do? You look for companies that are hiring, right? So that's it. Look for companies that are hiring for the role you are seeking. Now, before we move on, what I'm going to teach you right now can work for multiple roles, and you don't have to be confined to one role or confined to what you learned in school, what you graduated with, something like that. You don't have to. we set? Who is excited? This is final session, so I mean, this is final session. Who's ready? Ah, let me see that you're ready. Who's going to tell me that they are ready? I'm interested in seeing those that are ready. Ready, 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 ready. Okay, and your life is ready. And your life is ready. That's good. Who else is ready? Who else is ready? Usman is ready. That's good. Oh, wow. Okay, that's good. We have people who are ready on this call. Please be ready and pay attention. Very important. Okay, now when you are researching organizations that are hiring, you can go with the roles that you're interested in. But more importantly, you see that what I'll teach you here can work with multiple roles. And one important thing you just need to find out as you start is look for one problem that they may be facing, like one issue. It doesn't have to be something big or anything, but at least look for an issue that the company has. Now we have an example here, foodie foodie. Disclaimer, foodie foodie is just an hypothetical example. I don't know if there's any company or any food company that is named foodie foodie. If there is, this is just an hypothetical situation that we're painting, but we are painting real scenarios that happen with food delivery startups. Just that we are not attaching it to any company. So if there's any company that's foodie foodie, it's not, we're not calling them out, we're not showcasing them or anything. But let's say you want to apply and you have found foodie foodie as that company that you want to work for. Okay, apologies, please. That you have found foodie foodie as the company you want to work for. What you need to do is look for certain issues here and there that they may be um, experiencing. And how to do that is to do a research on um, research on research on organizations that have, is it track record now, or that have one or two insights online. Now, it doesn't always have to be online. Some organizations may not necessarily have details online, but you can also go internal and find one or two things. Okay. Now, what you then do is to gather all these insights. Now, these insights must be real. Don't gather any issue from anywhere that is not real. So you have to sit down and do the research. This is how you work to stand out. Okay. Now, when you then gather the resources, we'll now work with it with the PMI and the problem solving framework that we talked. Now, Foodie Foodie is a food delivery company, and then they are struggling to deliver food efficiently. Do you see? So customers are often complaining, my food is not ready. I ordered 1 hour ago. Oh, I called them. There's no rider. Those are the issues that they're facing. Now, this is you and you're looking for a job. Now let's look for the issues here in this company. Let's do a research. Uh, this is not okay. I think we need to. We are supposed to be able to. Okay. So what we need to. What I'm looking for now is. It seems like that slide I'm using is not complete because we're supposed to see different sources. Let me get. Let me stop sharing this and then share an updated one. So I want to just show you the kind of reports, the kind of insights you can get online that you can work with in preparing your application. It's not everything you see that you may be able to use, but you see the ones that you can use. Okay, that's what we are doing here. But I'm already trying to share the updated one. But in the meantime, let me quickly talk about our competency development program. So in Bridge the Bridge, we have our competency development program where we train young professionals, graduates, students, NYC members on these skills required for the workplace. You know, and it's a very simple, structured approach to learning the skills. Structured approach because it uses real life scenarios. Are we together? When you learn with us, you learn with practical scenarios, real life workplace situations. So we put you in that scenario and then you learn from it. As against maybe you're just reading in a, I don't know the kind of courses that we take, but as against just reading in a course slide or as against watching a video like you're watching me now, you would learn and then you step into scenarios where you can practice what you have learned. And then you have that confidence to say, I know this thing. That's where we run our competency development program. Now, the other part of it is that you would also be have the opportunity to meet with industry experts. Some of us here are saying that I didn't even know where to invest or where to learn the sense of skills. I didn't know how to go about it. When you meet with leaders, experts, HR professionals, they can teach us, they can tell us, they can let you know where you should, you know, look into, how you should position yourself. A lot of issues that many of us listed when we're feeling for this uh, masterclass is that we have issues with preparing a CV. That's part of what we have in the program, where we would have industry leaders come, take us through how to prepare our CV, and then you'll be required to submit your CV for review. Would review it, would give you reports on what you are doing well, what you're not doing well, what to adjust, what to do better with your CV. Would also take you through how to master acing interviews. When you enter an interview, how do you answer this particular question? How do you respond here? How do you come? How do you showcase yourself? How do you showcase your skills? These are the things we have in our competency development program. And I would invite everyone to join us on this program. Once we are done with the application, I would, speak more on the program and then we can close. But this is just to let you know that we have an offer for you if you want to proceed and learn, and then you get to learn this critical thinking in details, you learn problem solving in details, you learn decision making, emotional intelligence, collaboration, active listening, written communication, verbal communication, feedback exchange, and you know, a whole number of courses. Okay, okay, so we are here. What we are saying here is that you then need to get what is going on with the company and then find a challenge that you can work with, that you can position yourself to say, I am able to solve this challenge for you. Okay. Now we are looking at foodie. Let's say this is one of the things you found online for foodie. You just need to skim through it. This is like a an article online, like foodie is a Nigerian food delivery tech company. The tech company, Tech Crunch Africa, is a platform that publishes articles for tech organizations. So in your research of foodie, you found one of these sources that foodie has secured this particular funding, meaning that they have plenty money. They have been funded. That's all you need to know here. Not all. I mean, when you read through everything, you pick the major one to say, okay, this company has just received funding. Let's see another insight. This is another insight that you probably saw. You check their LinkedIn page post. Now it tells you that when you are looking for insight on these organizations, these are places you need to check. Their LinkedIn workplace. Do you understand? Their LinkedIn company page. Sorry. This post is from their CEO. Exciting times. We just opened our new fulfillment center in Ikeja. That means they just opened a new branch. That's an insight. You write it somewhere. Let me show you where you're supposed to write it. I have a table here. Okay, this is the table. This is the table. This is the table. Table. This is the table. Why is my slide not? Why is it moving by itself? Somebody behind, or am I clicking it too fast? Okay, I think I see where to. I'm trying to find out what the issue is. But what I'm saying is you need to just have a table where you are recording what you are discovering. Okay. So we found that number one, foodie secured funding. Number two, we discovered that the CEO said they opened a new center. And then they also announced a partnership, meaning that they have partnered with delivery organizations, people, all these delivery companies that have simple motorcycles. So if you want your food to be ready in 30 minutes, they are telling you that we can now deliver for you because we have now partnered with delivery organizations. Are we together? Please, if you are lost at any point in time, please put it in the chat box. You cannot hear me, you cannot see me, you cannot see the slides, you have questions, feel free to put it in the chat box, okay? Now, this is another post, still on the LinkedIn company page. This is another post that their head of operations made. It says behind the scenes at Foodie, our amazing operations team working around the clock to serve. It says some numbers that make us proud. We can now get food from different restaurants, not just some limited ones. Thousands of satisfied customers daily. Okay, that's something to note. Now let's move on. Let's see another source. This is another source. They have an app. The company has an app. You go to the app, you check what people are saying about that company. These are ways to get sources. I mean, credible sources of whether there is an issue in the company, there's something you should position yourself around, and all of those things. Now, this is what the app store is saying. Somebody says, I love the app interface, so easy to use. Delivery fees cheapest I've found. Food variety is amazing too. That's good. Good app, but delivery takes forever sometimes. Waited 1 hour 15 minutes last week. Sarah says, order dinner at 7 p.m. Kept getting updates that rider was assigned and then cancelled. Finally cancelled the order at 9 p.m. Very frustrating. Best prices in Lagos. App works well and a lot of restaurant options. Sometimes delivery is slow during rush hours, but overall good experience. Can you see? Jennifer says, third time my order got cancelled after waiting 45 plus minutes. They need more delivery guys. Now you now need to find out, are these reviews coming in before they announced their partnership with riders or after they announced their partnership with riders? That's for you to find out. Now, don't get overwhelmed with the level of work. That is how we stand out. If you apply to jobs the way every other person is applying, you may be disappointed. Do you get? You need certain ways and strategies like this to be able to stand out your application. That's what we are teaching you in this class. This is another source. When you read it, they are basically talking to the CEO. This is like an interview. What's been your biggest challenge since scaling Foodie? Honestly, it's operational capacity. Nigerians have embraced our platform. We're processing way more orders than we initially projected. Do you see? Getting enough riders, optimizing routes. Now, so far, what you would have seen here is that there's an issue with delivery timeline. Delivery don't come in on time. That's what you would have seen across what we are checking. How are you addressing that? We just hired a new head of logistics from Jumia, the motorcycle financing partnership that we just did, and all of those things. And let's move on. By the time you are checking different sources, you will get more idea. This is another source. Food delivery. This one is another tech report. Lagos food delivery was it up as status battle for market share. Okay, what are they really saying here? When you read it, you will see that what they are trying to talk about is that they have issues with logistics and operations. Delivery is what we have seen consistent over everything we're checking. Now you then want to position yourself. This is another one. Career speech. Okay, they are hiring. You see the different roles they are hiring for. And let's say they are truly hiring for this. With what we have learned in this class, you can apply to operations manager, you can apply to logistics coordinator, you can apply to business intelligence analyst. I mean, this method doesn't squeeze you into one role. No, you will have the opportunity to embrace many roles and apply. Now, this is like a working document. So the idea is, as you are reading those sources, you should be imputing them in something like a table like this. The 130 billion valuation, the funding that we saw, that means they are a reputable company with funding available. So money is not their problem. Late deliveries reported. Where did you find it? What's the source? Various sources. Customers are cancelling, customers are complaining. Peak hours 12 to 2, 6 to 9. What did you find? App users praise the interface. So customers love the interface. They love how the app look like. What they don't like that their delivery is late. Low delivery fees, yes, they are very affordable. They expanded into Ghana and Kenya. Partnership is ready. When you have this working document, this is what you will then use. You apply PMI, you apply 5 Ys, and then you can send your application. Now with this working document, let's move on. Step 2 is now applying the PMI. I hope we are still on this call. Is anyone still here? This is step 2, applying PMI. What are the pluses? They have a good user interface. Am I correct? They have funding, so money is not their problem. They are very affordable. That's what we have seen. That they say that they are affordable. Their food is the cheapest I've found. Those are things that people are saying. They have a wide range of restaurants, 200 plus restaurants. So they are not limited. If you want item 7 today, you can get it. If you want Chicken Republic tomorrow, you can get it. If you want which one again is available? Kilimanjaro, you can get it. If you want cafe, you can get it. They have so many of them. What are the minus? What are the losses? What are the negative things that they're experiencing? Challenges in hiring. If you read through the sources, you'll find it there. Riders. Even with their partnership with that ride company, they still have issues with delivering and meeting the needs of customers. So they have increasing order, increasing demand, but they are not able to meet up. So there are delivery delays, customers are canceling, customers are giving bad reviews. Look at the interesting thing. They expanded into Ghana and Kenya. Interesting thing is just the neutral thing. It's not necessarily doing you good or doing you bad. For you now that you're in Lagos, whether they expanded it to Ghana and Kenya is not really your issue. It doesn't really add more to you, it doesn't take away from you. So that's the in between. Their partnership with Right Capital is a is in between because it doesn't specifically say they would deliver in time for you. Yeah, app. Do you see now? This analysis suggests that while food is expanding rapidly, they have technological strengths, they have operational scalability, they have money, financial, they are financially stable. It still needs improvements, especially in their rider recruitment and delivery efficiency. So that's the issue you will find out that at the end of the day, there's an issue around delivery delays. No, even though they have money, they are a big company, they are well known, they have good app, they still have delivery issues. Now let's go to step 3, where we then look at the 5 ways. You will pick that issue that you have found with the PMI. What's the issue again? Foodie has is their customers are experiencing late deliveries. You bring it here and you now want to find why. You can't just assume and say, because people are ordering food now, plenty people are always ordering food, that's why. Not necessarily. So you pick that issue that you have found with PMI framework, you bring it here, and then you analyze it. What is the first question? Why are customers experiencing late deliveries? Because they're not able to meet demand during peak hours. So food is not able to meet demand during peak hours. Now, when you are finding out questions like this, you have to get to the answer. Don't assume, okay? That's why those sources that you get are very, very important because you need insurance. Now, why are they not able to meet up with the demand? At least they partnered with a rider company. Yes, but they still don't have sufficient riders. One of the things you would have seen in those sources that some of those riders are cancelling. So it's like they have to hire riders over and over again, over and over again. Like those riders don't stay for long. Number 3, why don't they have sufficient riders? Riders are unstable. Can you see? They have issues with rider recruitment and retention. Why? Why are riders not stable? Is it because you're not paying them well? Is it because they found another opportunity? Is it that their agreement was just a limited time? Those are the questions. So why are there rider retention? Retention issues means that they're not able to retain the riders that they hire. Those riders just, they don't stay for long, they go. No operational system in place to cater for the rising demand. That is the answer you will discover with what we have said, with the sources. Again, you cannot assume all of these answers. You have to be sure that you're working with data. No operational systems in place to cater for the rising demand. Meaning that, yes, you just partnered with a rider company, so there are more riders at your disposal. But the rising demand is still not catered for. So somebody wants to ride today. I mean, somebody needs food today. What is that link between this person ordered food and it gets to the rider? Yes, you have many. What's partnership with a rider organization means is you now have riders you can call often, and there are plenty. You have access to them, but there is an issue in between when a customer orders food and getting to the line. That's like an operational issue there. What? Why are there no operational system in place? There's no structure in place in that in between. Why? Because the company has invested so much in app development, they're not focusing on scalability and operational efficiency. They are much more focused on technological advancements. Let's improve our app. Let's make it better. Let's make it beautiful. Let's put this feature there. Let's put that feature there. That's what the company has been focused on. Now, by the time you get to your fifth why, you would have gotten to the root cause. You would have gotten to a problem that is tangible that you can solve. What's the root cause here now? Can you see? For this strategy focused more on customer facing features at the expense of operational scalability. So yes, they didn't have problem with money, but they were investing the money in features rather than operational scalability. So you can when you meet foodie, you see the app is fine, you like it, you want to order from them quickly. It is when you order from them that you start to see that this company they have issue, they are not delivering the way they ought to deliver. Do you see? That's the issue here. Now, based on your findings, pick that root cause and then find solutions to it. When you find your solution, if you follow the protocol or the procedure for problem solving, you will be able to find multiple solutions, and then you will now analyze each of those solutions to get the real answer. That's the way it works. So it doesn't stop here. But we cannot go beyond this. We've spent 2 hours, 30 minutes on the call already. We cannot go beyond this. But I was able to pick one or two for you, and then so that you can understand how to use it in your application. Now, based on your findings, when you continue with the problem solving procedure, you'll be able to uncover multiple solutions to that root cause. Now, from that multiple solutions, you then need to analyze them. If you have four, let's say four, for instance, or five solutions, you pick each of them, you analyze them and say, okay, this one, this one, this one. By the time you analyze, you see the one that fits properly. Fits properly means that it fits most of the conditions of the organization, meaning that number one, if we say let's go with this solution, the company can afford it. The people that we have on ground can do the work if there is a work that requires the people to do it. Do you see? So that's what I mean by it fits. You will analyze each of those solutions and see the one that fits the context of the company at that point in time. So that's the solution that you propose. This is how problem solving work in the workplace. I mean, even when you are already in the workplace and they call you to say, let's brainstorm, and you're like, can you find your recommendations for this issue? This is how to go about it. So, what are the two options I have here? Develop an online portal where potential riders can apply, complete training modules, undergo initial assessments digitally, reducing the time and resources needed for in-person recruitment. Okay. Number two, collaborate with existing logistics and courier services to tap into pool of riders during peak demand periods. Now, if you ask me, these two work together because they partnered with is it ride sharing? They partnered with a logistics company, but they were still having issues. Meaning that the in between is the issue, which makes number one a suitable option. There has to be structure in place to ensure that the riders will stay. Because you partnering with an organization means that you already have access to many riders. Your own goal is to see how you can keep these riders working for you. Now, what's the tip here? Support your solution with accurate and real industry data and include the source. And then you move on to prepare your application. How do you prepare your application? You you we checked, we saw you were hiring. So let's say they you want to apply for the operations manager or the business analyst or even the logistics officer. In your application, you will mention how you have researched the company and why Foodie gets your attention, and how that you observe that Foodie would you're not going to paint the problem in their face. Nobody likes that. The way to say it is that you observe or you recommend or you discover that Foodie can, you know, increase customer satisfaction by implementing this structure and that structure. Put a recommendation there. Put one or two ways that it can be done. Look at what we have here. And then that's it. That's what your cover letter should talk about. Ideally, cover letter should talk about yourself and the company. Do you get yourself as okay? I am Usman. This, you know, this is who I am a professional who does this. I enjoy this. I want to work with Foodie because of this, because of that. This is what I am bringing to Foodie. That is where this whole application thing comes in. We want you to be able to position yourself as somebody who is a solution to that company, even before you step into that company. That's the whole essence of this process of preparing your job application, so that you don't do it like every other person. Are you with me now? Do we still have people on this call? So you don't go do it like every other person. The whole idea is to position yourself as a solution to the company. So these recommendations, you must find a way into your application. That's your cover letter. And then you attach your resume and then you're good to go. That is one big way to stand out. Are we good to go on this? It's going. Who is with us on this call? can we okay, let's move on so that we can round up. Now, this is where I will make you an invitation if you are ready to progress on this journey. Okay, where you can build these skills and more, where you can learn all of these skills: critical thinking, problem solving, decision making, emotional intelligence, even customer service, teamwork and collaboration, communication, active listening, everything. And where you get to learn it in the best practical way. Why? Why am I saying it's the best and practical way? Because you are going to be placed in realistic workplace scenarios where you are practicing those skills real time. And what is good, or what I see that a lot of people appreciate about our program and our courses is that you don't just get a certificate, you get a competency report. For of every course you complete, you get a competency report that will tell you these are your strengths in critical thinking. These are areas to develop in critical thinking. This is our recommendation for you. And what competency report does for you is that when you show maybe an employer, it shows what you can do, not just that you complete a course. Because when you have a certificate of, let's say you take a critical thinking course and you have the certificate, what is telling anybody, me now, or anybody, is that, oh, you have taken a course in critical thinking. But I cannot immediately judge whether you learned something or not. What if you just skip through everything, just to get to the point where you get your certificate and you move on? But a competency report, when attached, shows anybody what you can do and where you stand. And that's one of the features we have that a lot of people celebrate. Okay. Now, okay, I'm already talking about the competency development program. It's a 2 months program. You have 2 solid months access into our program. Our courses are the maximum time of our courses is between 55 minutes and 1 hour. Ideally, if you take a focused session, meaning that you are not distracted. You say you want to learn critical thinking today and you sit with it. In 45 minutes, 1 hour, you will be done. So they are not overwhelming. They are easy to understand, easy to digest. Like I said, they are scenario based courses. They are more like you are playing with simulations. I don't know if anybody has gone through our website before. You'll see a place where we have simulations. Simulations are like you are practicing, and it's a way to learn and enjoy what you are learning. Now you get 2 months access. You can learn on your phone, you can learn on your laptop for 2 complete months. And then we have live trainings. Live trainings where you have people come teach you on how to prepare your CV, how to ace interviews. We would have sessions on how to use Google Documents, how to use PowerPoint. We'll have those sessions as well. And then you would also get the opportunity to submit your CV. When we have somebody come teach you about CV, we'll give you time to work on it. And then when you work on it, we would also ask you to submit so that we review it again, and then we let you know what is missing and what should be adjusted. Again, you get certificates and competency reports per course that you complete. Okay, and you get access to these skill sets and still counting. These are 16 skill sets already listed: active listening, decision making, customer service. I mean, if you ask me, this is a very good deal. And let's say, or let me show you what those who have taken our courses have said again and again. These are people on different courses. Okay, this is Jane Adinka saying that This is what she said on problem solving. You can see what Lucy is saying on feedback exchange, what Adenike is saying on activism. And this our program is also something that organization go through. We've had employees of Lagos Food Bank enroll in our program, and then we onboarded them onto our learning platform to learn. So, aside you learning as an individual, I'm saying that organizations also partake of this our learning so that you understand the value of these things. Organizations that invest in learning and development, we have some of them learn on our platform. But look at what they're saying. The hands-on experience was the most valuable part for me. I was not reading about problem solving, I was practicing it in real situations. That's how our courses are designed. You practice in realistic workplace situations so that you can apply it immediately, and even you will see for yourself. Write it because we give you feedback on, oh, you should have picked this answer, you should have made this decision here, you should not have done this here because of this. You will see real time what you are doing, why it is working, the one that is not working, what you should adjust. See what she said. I would love to see more of these things. Look at Lucy. The realistic scenarios help me see how I would respond when it actually mattered. Unlike most courses I've taken, this one will stay with me because they are scenario based. Like they are simulations. Like if you know anything called simulation, that's the way we have designed our courses. It's not something that will quickly fade away from your memory. And then this one also says the decision making formats make me genuinely think through my choices. So it's not that you're taking information. You practice it real time. You will see why this choice is good, why this choice is not good. Why, if you experience this thing in the workplace, this is what you should go for and not go for this. And you will see why it is this one we are recommending and it is not that one. Everything will be clear for you to understand. Okay, what's the offer that we are making here now? Because I know some of us are already thinking, okay, what's the amount? The program fee is 27,500, already discounted as the standard price. And these are things you work. Let me put up the uh, the link where you can check. If maybe if you want to see more, or maybe this one is too small. That's it. You can actually go check that page. But just to break it down for you, for those that are on this call, is even way going to be much more discounted than 27,500. That's the promise we have made, especially because we now see the relevance of it, and we just want to make that opportunity available for everybody that wants to take advantage, with as little as possible. So we have decided to make it to give 60% discount for those that will take quick action tonight. No pressure, but we have that allowance, 24 hours allowance between this time and 9 p.m. tomorrow. You can take advantage for a 60% discount. A 60% discount on this will give us how much now? Who will do the calculation for us? Anybody? Okay, these are more testimonials of those who have gone through our program, our courses. If you go to that page, let me drop it here first of all. You'll be able to read more, so that we can move on quickly. Who wants to take advantage of this? Maybe that's even the first question to ask. %60 discount on 27,500 will bring you to a whooping, very whooping, because it took a lot of decision to be able to do this. A whooping words. Anybody? a whooping. If you do 60% of 27,500, it is 16,500. I should have put it on the slide. My apologies. Yes. Now, what that means is you then do 27,500 minus 16,500. So we are removing 16,500 from it. What are you left with? Anybody? What are you left with? You're left with 11,000. So anybody that wants to take action, you know, you have that opportunity to take action for 11,500. I mean, 11,000. There's no 500 to it. Yes, 11,000. With a discount code. Oh, I didn't put a discount code on this slide. Let me type it out for you. Please hold on. Let me type it out for you. And for those that may be saying, oh, uh, what if I don't do it tonight, or I don't do it before 9 p.m. tomorrow? What happens? Well, if you don't do it before 9 p.m. tomorrow, you still have your discount, but the discount you get is 45% off, not the discount you have is 45% off, not 60% off. Okay, so what does that mean for you? That means that you will still get a discount, but it's a bit less compared to the 16,500. Alright. Are we clear on that? Are we clear on that? Are we clear on that? Please take action by all means. I'm going to give you the code now so that you have it ready. Here's the code. Let's try. This one said it will try. If you take 45% off, let me do that calculation for you. What you have is what you have is 12,375. What does that mean? That means what you pay is 15,125. This should have been shown on the slide, and I apologize for that. So let me just put it here properly. 45% off means you get to pay 15,125 naira, and 16% off means you get to pay 11,000 for 2 months. I think it should be clear. Oh, this thing is showing as a moderate of content. That's a serious one. Basically, anybody with any question. Okay, the code, the code. This is a code to use for 60% off, and I'll give you the one for 60% off. Now I'll give you the one for I'll give you the one for 45% off, so you can pick the one you want to pick. Right? Please, this 60% off would end in 24 hours. But if you miss that, then you get 45% off, which is still a fair price, really. But I will encourage you to just go for the 60% off because it helps you to save more and you still get the same benefits. Again, this is what we are doing because of the urgency of this matter. And we understand how that it just helps you. I mean, it removes the barrier because we've been asking, okay, why are you not learning? What's the challenge? It just removes the barrier. I mean, nobody here would complain again and say, who is the money? No, it should not be the money. It should not be the money at all. Okay? Because we've made it very, very good for you, very affordable for you, and it works. So if you check the link, that's the link that is on the that's the link below that is moving. You'll be able to read more on the program, what we have to offer. If you have questions, please do where to reach out. I would answer every question. But when you click to enroll, it then takes you to where you make payments. Please remember to use your code. Remember to use your code. If by the time you're trying it, this special 60 has expired because it is already set to 24 hours, so it will expire by 9 p.m. tomorrow. If it has expired, just quickly use the code for special 45. That's for 45% off. That one will close it as soon as we have enough people that we can work with. Do you get it? Is open. But one important thing is the moment you pay, you get access to your learning immediately. You can if you pay now, you can start learning now. So it's automatically set up. Nobody is disturbing you. You're not waiting for another person. You can start immediately once you make your payments now. So thank you everyone for tonight. Do we have questions? Do we have questions? Questions? Anybody with question? In 2 minutes so that we can close it. Any question at all? Has this been a worthy session for you? Has this been a worthy session for you? And do you have any questions? Anybody? Any question? No. Okay, maybe links are not clickable in this comment box. Oluwatomisin, I'm answering your question now. I, I think the links are not clickable because of the way YouTube is set up. I would share the link. Are you in the community group? That's number one. If you're in the community, we'll share the link. If you registered with your email, you get the link as well. You get an email tonight by 9 p.m. with all the details. Do you get? So you can look out for that email. Just in another 5 minutes, you will see the email. Also, this is my number, just in case you still don't understand everything after you have read the email. The best to get started, like I said, if you sign up today, right now, you will get started right now. It's automatic. The moment you pay, you are redirected to create an account on our learning platform and you can start learning immediately. Do you get me now? It is self-paced. You can take two courses today, take one tomorrow, take another one next tomorrow. It is self-paced. And 2 months is too generous because we often see people even take the course again and again and again and again just to reinforce their their learning. So you can get started on the course immediately. It is self-paced. Take it as many times as you want when you want it. The sessions that are like live sessions, the ones where we bring industry experts, would inform you of the time, the dates, so you prepare to show up. You show up like this to learn. And even if you miss it for one thing or the other, we would make replay available. Do you understand? We encourage people not to miss sessions like this so that you can ask questions. Especially when we now have experts that are coming on board. Do you understand? What else are you asking? Do you get access to one course? No, you get access to all the program. It's a program offer, not one course. You saw all the courses. There's critical thinking, problem solving, decision making, active listening, self awareness, teamwork, written communication, giving and receiving feedback, customer service. Is you get access to all the courses, and the live sessions we'll be having with experts come on board to talk to us, to teach us. The CV review, everything is all in the program. It's not one piece. Okay, I think I've answered you clearly. Everybody that registered for this program will get an email. Do you understand? We would also put together a resource, especially from the World Boundary Summit, something you can refresh your memory with. We'll send that to you. You get details of how to take advantage in the email come to you tonight. Okay, that's a lot. Yes, it is. It's a lot, and we hope that everybody can take advantage. All right, I think it's been a very good session. Thank you for joining. This replay would be available for a few days so that if you have friends that miss out, they can catch up to watch. Okay, thank you everyone, and we will see you again. Please stay connected in the community. Stay connected on the email. We send emails regularly so that if we have any other opportunity for you, you can take advantage. And for those that will take advantage of this offer, you are already, our inner circle people. All right. Thank you everyone for tonight, and we'll see you again. Bye. Bye.